Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live story time now with Dr. Jack Hinderman here at Family First Chiropractic. And today's story starts with a 9-year-old little boy. And I'll read what happened here just for a second. Here we go. My son came in. My son had ADHD. The pediatrician put him on Risperidol, Focalin, and Neurontin. And he was hypersensitive to the touch. He has been gassy since birth, and someone told her husband to try chiropractic care for this little 9-year-old. So that's cool that someone referred this little child into our office. This is back in 2010. But so what we do when we have a child like this enter our office is an evaluation. We want to see what the heck's going on with them so that we can determine whether or not we can do anything to help his situation. So we did surface EMG and we did thermography studies. And what we want to see on a thermography study, this is his original right here. What we want to see on a thermography study is all white bars, just like this, okay? And here we have some color, and that color indicates that the body's just not quite managing its temperature regulation very efficiently. Which is a basic job of the nervous system. So it's one of our test components that we use to establish whether or not there's any disruption in the way that the nervous system's working. So that is his original thermal scan. And it should be noted where all this color is down in here. So those areas of the spine, the nerves that exit the spine through those regions actually hardwire into the lower digestive system along with other areas. But so keep that in mind, because one of the main concerns that they had since this child was a baby is that he was also extremely gassy, which is interesting that the color shows up there. And then when we look at the surface EMG, this is a pattern view. This is a little harder for you to maybe grasp while I'm holding that up. But when we look at that, if you can see, there is a black line here and here. We want that black line to fall within that white shaded region. And just to give you an idea on how that looked, his pattern score, so this shows us how efficiently the brain is basically sending energy through the muscles in the body as he's sitting upright. When we look at these total energy scores, they are, this total energy scores are slightly high, so he's working a little harder than he should, but the pattern score is extremely low. So the pattern, again, is that black line. Is it sitting in the middle of that white shaded region? Now, here's the significance of a low pattern score. It is very common for us to see this poor neural efficiency pattern on children who are struggling with sensory types of issues. And that was also one of the concerns that they had along with the ADHD or the focus type of issues. So that's the, think pattern as being the way that the brain is organizing energy through the body. Now, specifically when I'm talking about energy in the body at this point, what I'm really talking about is voltage. We're measuring with a surface electromyography. We're measuring where there's actually electricity in the muscles so that we can, again, gather these pattern scores. And also symmetry is the one that we didn't talk about yet. Symmetry was at 77. So, in the perfect storm, we have a name for this, but that type of pattern is very classic of a sensory child, or a child dealing with sensory integration types of issues. So what happened? Well, we took this little guy through a course of care. We got started right away. We actually were seeing him quite frequently in the beginning. We were seeing him 3 times a week, and I believe we did that for at least the first couple of months. But this first one that you're looking at here, this scan was taken, and it's going to be backwards, I'm sure, but there it is, 2/11/2010. So that was that. Now, as we move forward and we get them under this care protocol that we're working on, we go, here it is, to about 3 months later. If you can see again, my camera, there we go, it's backwards, 5/3/2010. If anyone knows how to flip this camera so everything's not backwards, leave it in the comments. I'm not a tech guy, but I'd love some input if you know how to fix that. But as we look at his pattern, things started coming to life here. So look at his black line now, still not in the white shaded region. He's got super high energy now. When we look at those energy scores, I don't know if it's going to pop up, but it's super high, 237. One of the reasons that got super high is because over this course of time, Mom had taken him off of all medication. All right, so let's read about where he was at when we did this scan. So here's where he was at. My son was completely taken off of all medications, and he isn't as gassy as he was. His behavior and attitude has improved. He seems as though he is a different child. I do not have the struggles I did with him. Now the struggle is homework. Well, a 9-year-old. He's 8. He's 8. Just kidding. I don't have a 9-year-old. I have an 8-year-old at home, and he's getting better as the years gone on. But I tell you, homework can be a challenge at times, especially when it's nice out. So that's pretty good to see all those changes within a short period of time off of the medication. The sensory issues aren't as bad. Mom's like, the care has definitely made a huge difference and has impacted our lives for the better without medication. So let's get back to this. So without medications, we see this ramp way, way up. So the job isn't quite done getting that nervous system calmed down. But when we look at the pattern score, he went from a pattern, or a neural efficiency, or however you want to say it, he went from a pattern of 61% to 94%. So everything started working more efficiently. He was still working hard, but the sensory challenges started to dissipate and his coordination started to improve, which was very, very awesome. And Mom on the end said that understanding the nervous system and how it does affect the whole being makes sense, especially with what was going on with my son. So that is another story on this, here we are, Tuesday, 1 week before our Perfect Storm workshop. So if you have a child at home that has these types of issues going on, feel free to comment in the box if you have any questions. I will post a link for our registration to the Perfect Storm if you want to come out and learn more about what we do, what we're actually looking at with these scans, and how we've been able to help so many kids in Dubuque overcome their challenges. Look forward to seeing you out there. Bye.